Much better, much better. So I'm going to share with you who I am. Since you all did such a stellar job sharing who you all are, don't hold against me if I'm not as, I guess you would say, charismatic. All right. Well, my name is T. Ray Greer Jr., and I'm going to give you my story, and you're going to understand why I'm so passionate about literacy as we try to close the literacy gap. And it's obviously in the Shelby County area, we have a huge literacy gap. My name is T. Ray Greer Jr. I was born in Buffalo, New York. What make me unique? I was born to a 16-year-old mother, beautiful teenager at the time. She was in New York. She had very little resources, could barely take care of herself, let alone having the responsibility of taking care of a child. But yet, those were the cards she was dealt with, and that was her responsibility. My father, for whatever reason, gave me very little attention. He was very, very absent, and he died, I guess, about maybe 8 years ago, and we reconciled prior to his death. So he was absent, extremely absent for, I guess, 98% of my life. And so that was a challenge. Early on, it was really a challenge for my mother because she had to offer support for me without having his help, right? And we know that story all too well. It got really, really bad for her, really put in a dire situation when she realized she had to share diapers with the other three cousins I had in the house. So it was three cousins along with me. She stayed with her grandmother. All of them were single parents, and we was using used diapers. And she was forced to make a decision. Her decision was, I can keep him here. He could try to fend for himself in this environment. We're in Buffalo, New York, very urban. The statistic doesn't look well. Or we could send him to Tennessee, and he could be raised by his grandparents, and they can give him a better chance. So she decided to make that bold decision, criticized, ostracized. She went through a lot, but she made the decision to send me to Tennessee. I was raised in Haywood County. My grandparents were very, very hardworking, as most people were in that day and time. My grandfather didn't have much education. However, he found his niche in cement construction. He was a cement contractor, worked very hard as an entrepreneur, and he made a pretty good living for himself considering his background, right? My grandmother, she worked in a factory. She was a high school graduate. She was very hardworking, very dedicated to her job, stayed on that one job until retirement, and she believed in strong family values. They were very, very strong Christians, and they raised me under that particular umbrella, right? Speed up the tape. Everything was going pretty good. I mean, you think about a kid living with the grandparents, probably from 1 year old to this point, making it to the fifth grade. Everything was going fine. Life was good. And all of a sudden, I came into the classroom at my school, and my teacher just called me out the room, gave me a reality check. I don't even know why, just out of nowhere. Called me out the room. I wasn't being bad, wasn't disruptive, wasn't doing anything to hinder the progress of her teaching or invade her instructional period. But she calls me out the room. She looks at me and she said, "Hey, I want to talk to you." I said, "Yes, ma'am." I was very manable. My grandparents raised me that way. I respect authority. "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Listen, I want to say a couple things to you and I want you to hear me. I don't want you to even consider being an entrepreneur. And I'm going to tell you why. You lack discipline. So don't even think about that." It's okay. She said, "Another thing, I don't want you to think about being a writer. You don't have any creativity. I've taught you and I've tried to see if there was any glimpse of hope with you becoming a writer. I don't want you to consider that field as you grow older, okay?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." Then she said, "Another thing, whatever you do, don't become a speaker. You have a very poor speech pattern. Your speech impediment is annoying to me, and you just don't have it. I'm just giving you the realistic picture of who you are so you don't make the false mistake of going down a path that doesn't suit you." I said, "Yes, ma'am." And you can imagine by now, my heart is sinking. Miss Anderson, I feel like a ton of bricks is just placed on my chest. I don't know how to process all this. I'm fifth grade. I'm in the fifth grade. I don't know how to process it. And just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, you know what she said to me? "I am making recommendations for you to go into special education." And I was in the fifth grade. And I thought that was the one beacon of hope that she said in the whole conversation. I said, well, at least she think I'm special. There's a little bit of hope. I'm special. I'll take that and run with it. Go back in the classroom. She teaches normal. Her day is unbothered. She has no change in pattern or nothing. She's having the best time of her life. I guess she really wanted to get that off her chest. I go home and I talk to my grandparents, and we're just having dinner and we're conversating, something that people don't do anymore. Talk at the dinner table. And I said to them, they said, how your day, son? I said, it was great. My teacher said, I'm special. And they were like, oh, really? Wow, that's good. Well, tell us about it. Oh, she was just telling me, don't become a business owner. Don't ever think about becoming a writer. Don't ever think about whatever I do. Don't think about being a speaker because my speech impediment, it just annoys her. And that's all. But she said I was special. And they started looking at each other. She said, special like what? Oh, I'm so special. I'm going to have my own education sector. I'm going to be in special education. I get my mom on the phone, who's still in Buffalo. Mom come down, and I don't know what the big uproar is. I don't know why they can't see I'm special like she saw that I was special. I said, my parents got a problem. They don't understand how special I am. At least she see it. Mom come down. She have a conversation with me. We begin to talk. She's asking these guiding questions. I didn't know what she was doing at the time, but she was trying to get as much information as possible. Now, understand, my folks are Christians, right? This is the Bible Belt. They get the information. They equip themselves. My mom goes to the school, and guess what? She speaks in tongues. That went over some of y'all head. She tells the teacher how she feels about what was happening, what transpired, and how she was really out of place to do what she did. The next thing I know, they came back to me, the parents, not the school, with a plan. What was the plan? My grandparents say, you're going to read 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week. In that process, after you finish reading, you're going to talk to me about what you read and explain what you got out of what you read. So for every day, for 5 days, Monday through Friday, not in the substitution of my homework, but in addition to my homework, I had to read every day. And they investigated, they checked, they listened, they made me repeat, go over. Don't say that word like that. Say it again. No, this is how you pronounce it. They were giving me reading comprehension, reading tools, literacy tools. They would give me speech therapy, all of that in one. And to be honest, they wasn't quite educated. They weren't. But they had something I wish the parents had now. They had a desire to see their children win at any cost necessary. Can I speed the tape up? Y'all don't mind, do you? As of today, I have published 16 books, and they sell all across the world. I'm so thankful for that, teacher. I am a speaker. As you can tell, I'm speaking to you all. And I go around the country speaking, advising, consulting. And also, I'm a pastor. I've been pastoring for 21 years. I've been preaching to congregations. And I never had anybody after a sermon say to me, you have a terrible speech impediment. I thank God for that, teacher. And on top of that, I work in the school system, Memphis Shelby County Schools, as a community engagement specialist, helping connect the dots, making sure children have resources that can help them achieve in school. Anything that affects them that's non-academic, I'm there for them. Uniforms. It may be housing. It may be, I don't know, mental health. Whatever the situation is, I'm there for them. And I connect sponsors and partners to that particular school to make sure the kids have the funding and the resource they need to become extremely successful. And I own Greer Financial Services and Insurance. We offer life insurance, home insurance, car insurance, business loan, church loan. What I'm trying to say, I became an entrepreneur. And I'm excited for what that teacher did for me. And I saw that teacher. I saw her. It was so funny. She came up to me and she said, T. Ray Greer, I'm so proud of you. You really made a great person out of yourself, made a strong contribution to society. And she gave me all these flattery words, you know. And I'll be honest with you, when she finished, I said, you know what? If you not had doubted me and not be such a negative force in terms of an educator, I wouldn't be here. But it was because of you, who were at your worst, in my opinion, catapulted me to my best. And I thank you for it. She walked away with her head down, and she realized she didn't understand the potential that she had in her students because she was projecting her negative influence on my life. And I had a support system that said no. I'm glad y'all going back to Texas, and I'm glad we got board members here. And I'm glad we got recent college graduates here that's going to go forward in life, and you're going to look at your students from a different lens. I'm not saying that you have this type of personality towards them, but you have a more acute awareness that when you look at a child, you don't know what contribution they're going to make in society. Am I right? You don't know.